Good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I want to talk about something very important this morning. It's something that most people don't even consider. Even most preppers don't consider this, and it is a life and death situation. So we'll get into that a little bit. I was watching a video on a channel called Anti-Hero Podcast. And if you don't watch it, you should. It's a couple of guys, one Delta guy named Brent Tucker, and a cop who I think is also a veteran, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've seen 82nd Airborne tattoos on his arms. But he comes at it from a cop. They bill themselves as part Delta, part street cop, and it's a very, very good well, it's one of those if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you ought to find out kind of things, okay? But I was watching a video just the other day, and Brent Tucker, the Delta guy, was explaining why he supports first responders. And he owns a company, I think it's First Responder Coffee and Cigars, if I'm not mistaken. You can go to their channel. And he was explaining why he supports first responders. He says, because if his family needs help, if his family gets in trouble, Delta Force is not coming to save him. It's going to be first responders. So that's what I want to talk about. But I'm going to say this, and that is you cannot count on first responders. You have to be your own first responder, and I know that that's easy to say. A lot of people say it. I see it in the comments. I hear other people say it, but most people don't have a clue as to what that actually means, and I want you to know what it means and how to get ready for it. And so that's what we're going to talk about in just a second. Before we get to that, I have a very special announcement to make. By the way, to let everybody know, our get-together, our gathering is going to be next October 4th. Just to let you know, I'll keep you up to date on that. But we have just come out with a brand new line. Got to put on my cheaters here to see this. Who's happy with how things are going in our country right now? Raise your hand, huh? Happier than you were? Right. Our country is turning around, right? And who's turning it around? Well, it's a guy named Donald Trump. And most of you understand the importance of this. And some of you don't. And, well, I hope that someday you do. But your life, even if you don't understand, your life is being made better because of this. We have come out with a new line of mugs. Now, our mugs are very popular. Let me take a sip out of one of our most popular mugs. Shop placement is everything. And these are now available on our website. So it's a set of 4. Now you can buy them individually, but I want to show these to you. Okay, this first one, and these are all quotes from his inauguration speech. As you know, those of you who are familiar, we put stuff on both sides of the mug so that you can send a message while you're at your office or you're with friends or whatever. While you're seeing it, they're seeing it too. And then on all of our mugs, we put a sidebar on it because I don't like these mugs with nothing over there, and it really allows the design to go. So let me show you what these are. This one, these are all quotes. From this moment, America's decline is over. Can you see that? And then the sidebar says President Donald Trump, 45-47. Okay, now that's the first one. The second one is, let me get started this way. The second one is, in America, the impossible is what we do best. I think that was my favorite quote from his inauguration speech. In America, the impossible is what we do best. Should I turn it like that? I need a spokesmodel, don't I? The third one. Now I'll tell you how these come. The golden age of America begins right now. Okay. Aren't these beautiful? I shouldn't say that because somebody asked me, who designed your mugs? And I have to admit, I do. I love design. I've been in design since, way back when I was doing my magazines back in the 90s. So I enjoy design. So that's it. The golden age of America begins right now. And the fourth one, And I had a question whether I was going to put this one out or not, and I'll explain to you why. But it says, I was saved by God to make America great again. Now this sounds a little bit arrogant, and I understand that. And I almost didn't put this one out, but it was a quote. It shows, in my opinion, his belief in God, his belief that his being saved from everything he went through was directly on account of God, and therefore he bears a responsibility to carry out what God has directed him to do. And how many of us have said that, haven't we? We have said he was saved by God to make America great again. There will be some out here who disagree with that. That's okay. You're perfectly, I mean, it's your right to have your opinion, but don't be snarky about it in the comments. There's no reason for that. So if you don't believe it, that's fine, but that's it. So the 4 mugs, they are now available. They are on our website, stonemont.us. The link is down below. Now you can buy these, and I had my web guy and my merchandising guy. I told him I want each one to be able to be purchased individually. Okay, so you can buy any of them individually, but I want each one also to be able to be purchased as a set of 4, because we are getting so many people buying full sets of 4 because they want to give some to friends, and they want to, whatever, or just, give them as gifts, or have them over, like, so when they have friends over to the house, everybody gets one of the mugs, and that's cool. So each one is available individually or in a set of 4, and there is a separate thing that you can buy. Can I hold them all up here? I don't know if this will look stupid or not. You can buy the whole set. Ooh, that looks pretty good. You can buy the whole set. So 4, meaning one of each, as a set for only $80, and we pay the shipping. Now, how is that for a deal? Okay, all right. Go to stonemont.us, links down below, and you can order them. And whoever orders the first one, I will put a note. I will send you a message back that you got the first set. All right. I know if you're not the first guy, I'll send you. You go with the second one. Whatever. Okay. All right. Let's take this off now. Back to Tucker's. What Tucker was saying. Brent Tucker. That's not Tucker Carlson. He says Delta is not coming to save you. That's exactly right. Most people have no idea how dangerous this world is. Even preppers who like to talk about how dangerous this world is have no idea. Most people think, let me just bring it to the preppers for a minute. And I don't like that term, preppers, because that indicates kind of a limited understanding of really what you need, as opposed to a PMP, a preparedness-minded person. But most preppers kind of view the dangers of the world as an abstract. Okay, something out there that it's kind of titillating to think about. Kind of like monsters and ghosts and things like that, but probably never really going to happen. And even if they really prepare for it, buy a bunch of guns and things like that, I find that most people haven't really internalized the possibility of its reality. Okay, well, let me tell you that the average person, now, unless you're a first responder, you military folks, you've seen this overseas, right? You've seen how horrible people can be to other people. First responders see it all the time. It is beyond the ability of the average person to grasp the horrors of what people can visit on other people. Okay. So if you happen to be the target of an attack, most people aren't ready. Most people are not ready. And you've heard me say before, under an attack or an emergency situation, you have 3 enemies. You have confusion, fear, and then the attacker. Because most people not understanding, not anticipating, not being ready for a real attack, they go through this confusion. They go through, which goes through denial. It can't be happening. It can't be happening to me. It can't be happening to me now. I'm not ready, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then once they see, okay, then fear sets in, because they know they're not ready and bad things going to happen to them. And then when they're wading through all that, it's very difficult to deal with the attacker themselves or the attack itself, except through an animalistic response, which is really you're not thinking, okay? And your mind is the best weapon. It's the first weapon you have. Now you better have other weapons. What I suggest that people do to really understand what can happen, think about this. Think about a situation of a home invasion. You wake up in the middle of the night, the noises downstairs, or you're watching TV and somebody kicks in your door or your window, whatever, what, it doesn't matter. And all of a sudden you have several people in there coming at you, okay? Or you're awakened in the dead of night, or you are, traveling and you have a flat tire and you're fixing the tire. You're with your family, you're fixing the tire, and a car pulls up behind you. Now, do you immediately think that the people there are there to help you? If you do, you shouldn't. You've already set yourself up for danger. Anything that comes up that you don't know what it is a threat, usually unless it's got a light bar on top, or sheriff's department or something like that, usually. But anything is a threat. Now, are you ready for that? And do you understand how ready you need to be? I suggest that everybody, when I'm talking about the dangers of home invasions, or any kind of attack, to where you are caught not in public. You are attacked not in public where people can see, because public attacks usually happen quickly and are over quickly. The problem when you are attacked when nobody can see, whether it's in your home, in the city, in the suburbs, in the country, and the country can be very dangerous because a lot of horrible things happen in the country because you're isolated. What I suggest is that everybody read a couple of cases. The first is the Christian Newsom, and when I put this video up on the Patreon site, I'll find links for these so you can just find. But for the rest of you, if you're not on Patreon, you ought to be. The link's right down below. But just look it up. Christian Newsom, kidnapping, torture, murders in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was a horrendous situation, and it takes you right through, depending on which site you visit. It'll take you through the horrible things that happened to those two young people. The average person can't imagine it, but you need to not just imagine it, but know it, and think about it happening to you or the ones you love. Okay. Another one is, I forget their names. It was a family back east, and a couple of guys broke into their house. They tied the father up and the son, maybe, or I don't know. And they tied either there were two daughters. I'm foggy on this because I didn't really get into this case a lot. They tied either the daughter and the mother or two daughters or something up to their beds, raped them, and then set the house on fire, burned them alive. The father was able to get free later, but not in time to save his daughters or wife, or I'm not sure what it is. Read those cases. And the reason that I suggest that you do is so that you understand how important it is to resist immediately, to fight back immediately, and to have the ability, okay, the readiness, the willingness, and the ability to respond. Now, the thing to keep in mind is the time to fight back is immediately. Okay, when I teach and I don't anymore, but when I used to teach self-defense for women, say, or defensive tactics, whatever, usually self-defense for civilians, I would say you are the safest at the beginning of an attack. Now that sounds funny, right? What I mean is your safety level goes way down if you allow them to tie you up or take you to a secondary location. And very often that's what they want to do. Okay, in a home invasion, it's going to be tying you up. In someplace else, if it's an abduction, this happens to women quite more frequently than you would think. They tie them up. They take them to another location. The person goes along with it, because they say, well, I'm just playing for time. The reason that people allow themselves to be tied up is because they think that if they go along with these people, the people won't hurt them or kill them, and they don't know what else to do. Besides that, they don't think that they're able to overcome their attackers, and they may not be. They may not be able to overcome their attackers. That's why you need to be trained. Simple as that. And that's why you need to be ready. And that's why you need to develop an animalistic, combative spirit that is right below the surface that you're able to summon up at whatever moment you want to. You have to recognize this is your split second in time to respond. And that is your best chance for victory. That's why you always need a gun, to be honest, right? That's why people say, should I carry in my house? I don't carry in my house. Well, okay. So you're sitting around watching TV and somebody kicks in the door, right? And 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys spill into the front door, and they're yelling and screaming, get on the floor, get off. Okay. Oh, just a second. My gun's on top of the refrigerator. Up to you. Okay. It's not living in fear. It's living in readiness. And most people don't live in readiness. Like I say, most people really don't. They haven't internalized the possibility of its reality visiting them. Okay. The second thing that will happen is if you allow them to take you to a secondary location, your chances of survival go down, 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 down. The more you are restrained and the more you are taken to a location of the attacker's choice. I don't think I have to go into a lot more detail there. I could talk about some unbelievably gruesome, horrible things. I mean, just flat out the evil that people can do to each other and enjoy it. I don't like to talk about it anymore. I'll be real honest. But you should, if you're not aware of it, you should familiarize yourself with it. Now, so who's not coming to help you? Ding, ding, ding. Did you listen to the first part? That's right. Delta Force is not coming to help you. SEAL Team 6 is not coming to help you. Okay. You know who else isn't coming to help you? First responders. Because they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening. They don't know that people just kicked in your door unless you've got good alarms, and most people don't. They don't know what's going on in that house. You wouldn't know what's going on in the house across the street or down the road right now. You can't be sure what's going on in there. You assume that family that you know is nice and safe and sleeping and all that, and you'll see them tomorrow. You have no idea what's going on in that house. And if it was happening in your house, nobody else would know what's happening in your house. But you read about it. If you care to read about this stuff, you can read about it all the time, and it will make you want to puke. First responders aren't coming. They're not coming to help you. They would if they knew, but they don't know. Your neighbors aren't coming to help you. If you're at the side of the road and you're changing the tire and your family's in the car and a car pulls up behind you and you keep changing the tire, and you look up and you see a shadowy figure walking towards you in front of their headlights, and you give him a nod and he points a gun at your head and says, get up or get on the ground. And you say, oh, wow, okay. Maybe I'll do that because just to save my family. I don't want this to go any farther. But no, he wants more than that. He wants your family. He doesn't just want your money. He's got more plans for you and them. So what should you do? Well, I'll tell you what I do. If I'm changing a tire on the side of the road and a car pulls up behind me, I stand up. And I stand there and I put my hand back on the butt of my pistol, which is in my belt. And I wait there to see who's going to come up. And if it's a nice guy and I see a sheriff's department badge on his shirt, and he says, hey, man, you all right? I'll go, hey. Doing well, buddy. Thanks for stopping. Thanks for hitting your lights so nobody runs into me while I get this tire changed. He'll say, good deal. If it's not him, there's going to be a problem, but at least I'm ready for the problem. It's not living in fear. It's living in readiness. Okay. Same thing in the house. And like I say, well, let me back up here. If that scenario is on the road and you're changing the tire and the wrong person comes up, do you think that people, and he's pointing a gun at you, he's got it down here, he says, get on the ground. Do you think all those cars going past you, you see, you feel safe because there's traffic, there's cars going by. Do you think that all those cars going by are looking over there and say, I wonder if everything's okay? No, what they're saying is, oh, good, somebody has stopped to help them. That's what they're saying. Nobody else is stopping. And if they were stopping, they're certainly not ready to stand up against a guy with a gun. That's the world we live in. You have to be ready for the worst of the world we live in. Now, does this happen often? No. And, one of the things but it happens more often than you'd think. And what I used to tell people when I taught defensive tactics, or actually self-defense for women, and I used to teach them to a lot of universities and things like that. And the one thing that every other person that teaches self-defense for women will start out their spiel by saying, X percentage of women are attacked or raped during their lifetime or while they're at college or stuff like that. The first thing that I say is this. I don't know what percentage of women are attacked during their life or while they're in school, and I don't care. And the crowd will go, and I say, I don't care, because how does that help you? Here's what I care about. It happens to 100% of the ones it happens to. And if they live through it, it destroys their lives and the lives of everyone around them. Okay? Simple as that. So who's coming to help you? Nobody. You are coming to help you, but you have to develop. Now, you need to be trained. Now, I believe in being trained to fight without a gun. But you need to have somebody who knows how to do it to train you. I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'll tell you, very few people in the world can teach you how to fight, really fight, when life and death struggle. Very few people, the ones who have done it, can tell you. And there's not you may not know many of them. You may not know any of them. Okay, you ought to find one. And you need to be able to know how to go to animal like that, but have the skills to do it. And then you need to know how to fight with a knife. And not many people can teach you how to do that either. Oh, there's a lot of people who have taken classes in that, but not many people who have actually done it. So can you find one of those? No, probably not. It'd be hard, but, do the best you can. Then you need to know how to fight with a gun. I don't mean go to the range and punch some holes in a paper target. You need to know how to fight with a gun. That goes far beyond the parameters of this video. But you need to carry, you need to be able to use it, and you need to be able to have the mindset to use it properly, aggressively, and immediately. Very simple. Because, like I say, Delta Force is not coming to help you. First responders are not coming to help you. Neighbors are not coming to help you. Your mom, your dad, your kids are not coming to help you. You know why? Because they don't know what's going on. The police will show up later when everything's discovered, clean up the mess, try to find out who did it. How does that help you? It doesn't. Okay. You are the only one responding. And if you're the man of the house, you're responsible for that. And if you're the woman of the house, you're also responsible for that. And if you're the kids of the house, hopefully your parents have trained you to do something to be a part of the team. Right? So guys, that's something that is vitally important to understand. And I think that it's something that very few people do. You are the only one who can save you. Okay. All right. Hey, just a reminder before we go, these beautiful mugs now available. I bet you somebody has already gotten on the website and ordered a set. Probably more than one person. The presidential series. Should we call this the presidential series? I think that's the way that that Aiden, my web guy, put them up. But I think I'll call it the inaugural series. Going through you one more time. From this moment, America's decline is over. In America, the impossible is what we do best. The golden age of America begins right now. And I was saved by God. He was saved by God to make America great again. Go to the website, stonemont.us. Buy some for yourself, buy some for gifts. What a great way to get the message out there. We need to keep working to turn our country around. That's what this is all about. So you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And remember that you are your only first responder. Get ready. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.